A great Tuesday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, and sorry that I'm a little bit late and just a minute, but I had people walk into the office, and let me say that one of the things that I wanted to do today, more than anything else, is I wanted to talk about the airline that was announced yesterday in the city of Brownsville. And the reason I want to talk about the airline that recently is the recently is coming in to the city of Brownsville is because uh, I think a lot of times we get sold a lot of things that appear to be something beneficial for individuals, and at the end of the day, tend not to be the greatest thing in the world. And I make mention of that. Uh, I make sure that because I make mention of that because it's really impressive how a lot of the times we are sold things that a lot of folk tend to feel or think that are a beneficial or important to the city of Brownsville, but really don't have a great impact on on our well-being, on our commerce, or on anything else that actually becomes part of the city of Brownsville. N- No, how many people do we really know in the city of Brownsville that actually travel to Monterrey once a week? Besides me, now let me say there is a flight from Matamoros uh, to Monterrey already. Are we now competing with the city of Matamoros in regards to travel to Monterrey? I just don't see it. I don't buy it. And again, it's not morning time.
Hey, what's up, man? Let me guess what you're talking about. The airplane.
Yeah, it's just it's
Like,
just
okay,
it doesn't make
you have a point, pero también, like, ¿cuánta gente de Brownsville va a estar viajando para Monterrey seguido?
it doesn't make sense.
Nomás se agarra el noreste.
Well, look, it, if you're going, if you're someone that is in Brownsville,
Yeah.
if you're someone that is in Brownsville and you're going to want to go to Monterrey, all you have to do is cross the bridge and go to Matamoros. And, I mean, it
Yeah.
just why do you want to compete with Matamoros when you're a sister city? Now,
Pero hold on, like what do you mean? Go to the airport in Matamoros?
yeah, there's flights from
Are there?
yeah Avebus or some whatever. I don't know what the hell the name of that.
Cause I tried searching yesterday and they had like a like there. I didn't find any. Well, I only searched it for like 5 minutes, but I didn't see any direct flights to Monterrey unless it's something new.
Well, I saw them. It's the same airline. Hold on, I'll check just to make sure. Like I'm not talking out of my ass.
No me sorprendería.
Well, me either actually.
Nada, jugando.
No,
Pero
no, but
it'll be great if there was. Like if I don't know, I know that they had like the whole Mexico thing is like DF flights. Um, although they were like more expensive. I think who is it? Like Reynosa, the one that has the direct flights almost daily.
uh, yeah, and I couldn't find the flights from Matamoros to Monterrey, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. And you taking, uh,
Which I understand, and they'll probably do it like how they do it for like other places where it's like sabes que nomás dos veces por semana o tres veces por semana,
well,
even though it's like a little Cessna. Pero they're not gonna put like a 30 seater when it's only gonna be a couple of people flying each week.
well, if you're a business person coming from Monterrey, and this is maybe it's not about us going there, but them coming here. I don't know many people in Monterrey Sam, that want to come to Brownsville anyway.
Well, it's because remember back then, like you had mentioned that most of the like South Padre Island condo owners are from Monterrey, and they should have like a flight from Monterrey to Brownsville. Well, now they have it because I know some of them probably fly into Harlingen, no, or was there a direct flight? I'm not sure if it's from Harlingen or from McAllen, but they were
Well,
taking that route. And as it is, the McAllen hasta La Isla, that's a good hour drive, no?
oh, most of the people from Monterrey, and again, I know people from Monterrey. Most of the people from Monterrey are going to drive to McAllen, which is an hour and a half away.
Yeah,
So all it is, an hour and a half away, and that's what most of them do. Especially the individuals that are coming in to South Padre Island. They do the whole little trip thing. They go to McAllen, they shop in McAllen, and then they go 45 minutes to an hour to get to the island. It's what makes sense. Now, people in Monterrey, they don't struggle with not having a vehicle, son.
yeah,
So why would you want to spend 3.5 to 4 hours at the airport going back and forth to the airport when you can take 2 hours to get to the island from Monterrey?
yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, my biggest question is, how much are we having to pay in as incentives for all this?
That's a good question, pero it would be nice if there was that information was given out too.
No,
Pero because that's the same thing that happened with Fly Frontera, no? That they're or that other
yeah,
airline,
we're gonna
they're paying the difference.
we're gonna dish out $10 million. Now, my question is, why can't we get flights that are actually a little bit on the more meaningful side, like going from Brownsville to Mexico City? Now, I would flip out if we had something from Brownsville to Mexico City. That makes more sense because going to Mexico City in a vehicle, it takes you 12 hours to get there.
Yeah,
So that makes sense. But to Monterrey? Now, one of a good comment that I saw in regards to going flying into uh, flying into Monterrey is that from Monterrey you could find cheaper
you know
flights.
what would be better flight to Torreon to
Uh,
see the best soccer team ever.
Los Santos,
Yeah,
Santos Laguna,
now that would be worth it.
uh, because of the distance, because it takes you 10 hours to get from here to Torreon, te
Yeah,
la paso. But going to Mexico City, that makes sense to me. I would die to go because let me say, I was trying to find a flight to Mexico City, and me sale como $600 to go from Brownsville, and
yeah,
from Reynosa it would cost me like $350. Besides that, uh, the hours were not ideal. So for me, it makes more sense to drive all the way to the airport in Monterrey, which is 2.5 hours away, you know, two and a
yeah.
half hours away, and then just pay $120 to go round fare from Monterrey to Mexico City. In that sense, it makes sense to me, you
And
know.
it's a lot faster.
It's a lot faster and a lot cheaper than paying $600. But I would never fly from Brownsville to Monterrey, where I'm going to get stuck in the airport anyway. Now, have you ever been to the Monterrey airport?
To the Monterrey airport?
Yeah,
No.
and nobody else I would dare say has ever been gone to the Monterrey airport. You're talking about a 45 to an hour drive into the city of Monterrey. Plus, it's very hard to find Uber drivers in the airport of Monterrey. You're going to have to take a taxi. You pay crazy amounts of money for the taxis.
No, I'm more of like an OG adventurer. Yo agarro el noreste, todo hasta Monterrey.
Yeah, I don't want to. Definitely don't want to use a bus to go from the Monterrey airport all the way into Monterrey. You just don't want to do it. Now,
Yeah,
if I could find an inexpensive flight, because I remember one time I was looking for a flight from Harlingen into Monterrey. I thought, yeah, maybe I'll find one because I heard that Harlingen was somewhat interested in going to Monterrey. Now,
yeah.
my biggest spiel is, why don't we just kill the airport? Shoot it. It's dead. It's over. Shoot the damn airport. I mean, it's never coming back, Sam. We're never
Yeah,
going.
it's because it needs like a selling point,
Yeah,
and I know most of them is just for like I wouldn't say it's what is it like a good 60% is business, the people flying in.
Well,
It's either for like amples or for some other stuff.
the only thing that we have an airport for is for illegal aliens. That's the only
That
thing
that, that was a 20%. So I
that
know for a fact 20%. It's because of that.
that's what makes the airport money. But let me tell you, I appreciate the flight from Brownsville to Houston. That's inexpensive and that's very practical. But you're talking about a 5 to 6 hour drive into Houston. It makes sense.
Yeah,
We have flights from Brownsville to Dallas. I appreciate that. There's commerce coming in. So in that,
yeah,
that's great. Not to fly to Monterrey. Now we don't even know how much the flights are going to be. I'm going to be on the lookout because they start selling the flights July the 8th.
yeah.
You know,
But they haven't posted the price.
they haven't posted the prices yet. I mean, I'm interested in seeing what the comparison is because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'll tell you one thing though, I'm not getting on those planes.
Why not? What if it's super cheap, like dirt cheap, like $100?
No, hell no, Sam.
No.
Those planes are so small. I mean, they're the 9 seater, Sam. I
Yeah.
I mean, God bless them. They might work and everything,
Because I
but
remember back in the day, también tenían esos, no, ahí in Brownsville. I know I've gotten in like super small airplanes from Brownsville
yeah, I'm not doing that.
que parecen peceras.
Yeah, I'm not doing a peseta in the air. You know, I mean, maybe they're very safe and stuff. I just don't feel comfortable. I would rather have a big old ass machine flight, you know, than something on the smaller side. I don't feel comfortable in them. I mean, I've never flown in a 9 seater.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have, but it's been a while. It was like I want to say a good 10 years, and I think they did have them there in Brownsville when I flew over there to Houston.
Well, I don't know. At first instance, I said, you know what, I'm going to buy an airplane ticket just to test it out. You know, I said,
I wish I was in that airplane.
well,
But no, like if they were like again, they should do one to Torreon. That'd be hella worth it. But no, like you said, the one from Mexico City would be great. Like whenever they have like those like big games for soccer that it gets like super crazy, that
in
would be awesome.
in La Azteca, in Estadio Azteca.
Yeah,
Well, also, you know, they have some amazing theater in Mexico City.
yeah. They
Plus,
have a
Mexico,
lot of things.
yeah,
It's not just theater, but
no,
it,
but they have pyramids.
yeah,
They got museums that are amazing. You know, it's just it be la tienen la for Catholics. They have like what's that called? The La Basilica. Okay, no, not the Basilica. La Basilica is great, but I'm trying to think of the one where they have the Virgin Mary thing that Judas Tadeo.
yeah. I wouldn't know. I'm more of a. I would just go to places for like food tours.
Well, the food's amazing. They got Xochimilco, which is also amazing. They got a lot of great stuff in Mexico City. So, having a flight from Brownsville to Mexico City, man, that you'd sell me out like a crazy man. You know,
Yeah.
I'd be on that at
But it's
least.
like how I tell you, like when you were saying that they fly into like the outside airport, and I know that like Mexico City is like surrounded by other major cities, no, or
Yeah.
no?
Well, Mexico City, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Cuernavaca,
it's in the very bottom, pero como quiera, I know Cuernavaca is not it's not like in comparison, pero como quiera, it's a good nice pueblo and everything, like a nice city.
Puebla is there. The volcanoes are there. I went to the volcanoes, and Itza y El Popo. And
Yeah, Popocatépetl.
there's a lot of things out there. And going to Mexico City would be great. It's just I just don't see it going to Monterrey. Again, I'm going to Monterrey tomorrow. I'm driving to Monterrey tomorrow. It takes me 2 hours and a half to get there.
Well, in consideration, you do go about 90.
Well,
That's why it's a 2 hours and a half.
I actually drive closer to 100, 110.
No, man.
But that's me. I like to drive fast. I like to drive fast here in the city of Brownsville as well. Please don't stop me, anybody. But it's just not practical for me. Plus, once I found out that it was a 9 seater plane, I said, no, I'm not even going to try it. I mean, I love flying. I think flying is better than driving any time of the day.
Like, how long could that flight take? I'm pretty sure it'd probably be like less than an hour.
No, an hour and 20 minutes.
Hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
How so?
that's
See, at
that.
Houston, some 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
That's what it measures. That's what it measures on that thing that I think.
Oh yeah, but it's like a smaller plane too, right? It's probably
Yeah,
going
yeah. They go.
slower.
I think they go a lot slower. Again, I'm not very experienced on these. I don't have a lot of experience on these smaller planes. I've
Yeah.
never been on one. I've never wanted to get on one. I don't trust them. That might just be me. Now there might be some
You
people.
got on a hot air balloon, but you will not get on a Cessna.
Yeah, that's what's different because at least that hot air balloon, it's not over 10,000. You know, it's not way up there. Hot air balloon, you can still see the ground somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat. But and I'm afraid of heights, and I was still willing to do it. But I did the, how you get on those things where the boat takes you and you like paraglide or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do that. That stuff I can do, and I'm scared of heights like a crazy man. Ah,
No, I guess they're just trying to figure out I guess options, trying to give it some options for like more flights, and hopefully it generates.
how? I just don't see it generating any income for Brownsville again and again. I like to see the financials. I like to see how much incentive money that we're actually pouring into them.
Yeah,
I just don't
it's
know.
like because what other major city? The only other major city that we have here that could be direct would probably be either Austin or San Antonio.
Monterrey.
No, no, no. I'm saying like because you're trying to have like more options of like direct flights, which I think they already have like Houston and Dallas, no, or
Yeah,
just Houston.
I think I'm not sure if we. I think we have a direct flight to Dallas because a lot of times when I travel like to New York and stuff, it stops in Dallas first and then it goes up to New York. So I'm sure that we have like and someone could correct me. I'm sure that we have like a direct flight to Dallas. I think. I'm not sure, but I think that there's that option. Yeah, a
Yeah, because I
direct.
think the one from Dallas is probably Harlingen, but I'm not too sure
You
because I
might be
know
right. You might
I usually use the one from Harlingen, and it just depends which airline, and that's where it would go, either Harlingen or Dallas. I mean Houston or Dallas.
you might be right actually for the first time in your life.
Because
It's
I know when I use the Bronzer one, it always goes to Houston.
Yeah, Harlingen. You're right. Harlingen. That's when you get a direct flight. Yeah, we don't. We have a direct flight to Houston, but not to Harlingen. And I've taken the direct flight to Houston, and that makes sense to me. Again, my issue is where are the financials? How much is it going to cost? They all go to the McAllen area. As mayor of Matamoros, would you prioritize a passenger train station in Matamoros? Hell yeah, that would be amazing.
And
Yeah,
and I had mentioned that before. Wasn't there gonna be a train that starts over here in Bronzeville, or did that get squashed because of the whole SpaceX thing?
I, I, I don't I don't can't remember anything from Brownsville. Matamoros would be amazing if you could connect Matamoros to El Chepe or Matamoros to this El Tren Maya that is supposedly down there in the south. That would be amazing, because they do these luxury little train things.
Yeah,
It's not so much because of the time; it's because they're just so
man,
pretty,
that would be crazy to have a train that goes all around the Mexico, like on
amazing.
the edges.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Brownsville with no airport, that makes sense. Well, we don't really have an airport because Sam mentioned you could go to Harlingen, and that was one of my spiels. Why don't we just actually start working with the city of Harlingen? I mean, Sam, going to the airport is only like 25 minutes away.
Yeah, 25 minutes, and then once you get in there, like if you actually like plan ahead, all you need to be there is like 40. I think the cutoff to give the luggage is like 45 minutes before departure. So as long as you get there like an hour before, just give them the luggage, and then you're just waiting there like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. Again, why can't why? And I think the other thing, Sam, is that a lot of people here have probably never lived in a big city. You know, they like Austin, Dallas, or Houston. They never lived in a big city where traveling 45 minutes to go to work is a
Yeah,
normal.
it's
Is a,
nothing. That's the usual, like 45 minutes to an hour. That's the
that's
usual.
that's normal. You know,
Yeah,
that's typical.
I know Brownsville's like what, like 15, and that's because of the traffic.
Yeah, that's because there's traffic. It usually takes me like 8 minutes to get to my office from my house, but that could
Yeah,
never.
cutting off people and everything.
The bastards, they shouldn't be driving any slower than I am. You drive scary fast, very fast. But in a big city, Sam, 45 minutes is a good day, you know?
Yeah,
And
and that's if you catch it before like rush hour and all that stuff.
yeah, that's a good day. So a lot of folks going like, oh, I have to go all the way to Harlingen to go to the airport. I go like, that's 25 minutes. That's nothing.
I wouldn't mind driving the 25 minutes to 30 minutes
Can you
for
imagine?
the Harlingen Airport.
Well, it's like
It's
in
more
Austin,
convenient there.
100% in Austin, going from North Lamar to the airport, 2 hours, you know, on a bad day,
Porque se te atraviesan todos los locos en Austin.
on a good day, maybe all those the Sixth Street marijuanas. On a
Yeah.
good, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. You know, on a good day, wait, you're going to have to be there 2 hours. So to get there, and then you have to be depending on if the flight's international or domestic, you have to get there, sometime before in order to check in. And because there's so much more traffic than we have here in the city of Brownsville, or Harlingen, then automatically you can't get there 45 minutes before, Sam. So you already shot half of your day just to fly out. So the other thing a lot of people aren't considering is you still have to go pass through customs. You know, when you leave, let's say you or I
Yeah.
want to leave from Brownsville to Monterrey, you're still going to have to spend some time con inmigración, and it isn't a pretty picture in Mexico, in Monterrey.
Like,
I,
isn't there like an extra charge for like flying international?
well, not an extra charge, but you have to pagar your permiso. You have to pagar your permiso.
Quick question. So if I fly from Matamoros to Monterrey, do I have to pay for that permiso? Oh no.
No, not if not if you have an ID. Usually you don't. Sometimes,
So they
well,
don't ask you for a pass. Like, would I
no,
need my passport or anything like that?
now
Matamoros.
they actually started to now, and the reason that they started to now was because there's a lot of Haitians, a lot of Central Americans, South Americans that are now coming in and flying in, Sam. So now I've noticed that they have like an immigration guard that asks for ID once you get off the plane.
Hey, have you heard about that? Speaking of all that immigration stuff, have you heard about like that? I guess people now moving into Mexico, but they're not doing it like I guess correctly with those permits and all those visas and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
Like I guess to live cheaper.
Well, it's crazy because it, it's it's life is better for them in Mexico than the countries they're coming from. So a lot of people just want to stay in Mexico. And actually, I've started to see a lot more individuals like from Cuba, Venezuela, who have their Mexican residency, which I thought was crazy. I never had seen a residency card from Mexico. I've started to see more of them
Or
now.
don't they even have? I'm trying to remember what sport he plays, either baseball or soccer. But I know that there's like a Cuban player, isn't there? And
Here,
he was like I guess like the a darker complected that everybody was like, oh, he's Mexican because he was with the Mexican team.
here in Mexico or in the United States,
Yeah, in Mexico, in Mexico.
I'm not sure.
Well, that which comes back to the whole thing. Like I guess there's more diversity now because they even have uh because there's even like Asian families over there that they're moving into there. Like more people are moving into Mexico now. Even with all the news and all that stuff, people are still moving into Mexico because I guess they're how it gets so promoted about like other culture, which is
Well,
good for them, you know.
it's good for Mexico, but let me say a lot of the folk that decide to spend some time in Mexico, it's like their stopping point because ultimately the ultimate goal for most of the individuals that are coming in, like from Cuba, from Haiti, from Venezuela, isn't to live in Mexico the rest of their life; it's to come to the United States. So a lot of times They have to make a life in Mexico. It's like when individuals want to apply for asylum to come into the United States, they have to download what's called the CBP1 app. And again, I've talked to hundreds, hundreds and hundreds of individuals here at the border because I cross the border every day. They download the CBP1 app, Sam, and then they wait their turn until they get called, until their appointment confirms for them to come over into the United States. What happens is that CBP1 sometimes will take 7, 8, 9 months for them to get either approved or denied. So during that time, a lot of people they start making a life in Mexico, and they're waiting. So a lot of these people are just in Mexico now. Immigration in Mexico is probably at the
Well,
same.
that's what they that's what people were talking about. Like, okay, why not start that process while you're in your own country instead
They
of doing the travel and then having to start like at least temporarily in a different country.
Because they have to wait till they get to Mexico in order to be able to download the CP1.
Ah, okay,
They,
makes
they have
sense.
to be at the border. It's one of those little things because you cannot file the CP1 in United States. Like
Yeah.
for some reason, if you try to download the CP1 in United States and fill it out, it automatically shows that you're in United States.
Oh, because it has a tracker. Not the tracker, but they ask you for the location.
I guess I don't exactly know how much of that technology
Yeah, it's
works.
just like any other app that asks you for permission for the location.
Yeah, and then they'll find out if you're in Mexico or in your country or somewhere else. But you have to be in Mexico. I think, and again, I'm not sure about this. I'm not an immigration lawyer.
Unless you have a VSP and then you could place it somewhere else.
Unless you take a
But I
plane,
did not say that.
unless you take a plane from Monterrey to Brownsville, and then you'll be okay. It's not gonna work. I give it, Sam, 3 months.
I say it might. The 3 months will probably just be like a guess, like a starting point. But hopefully it lasts a little bit longer than that. If anything, probably 6 months. But that's even if it generates like enough like people going over there.
Well,
But even like for even if it's just for the weekend, man. If there's concerts over there, which there are, but
yeah.
like you said, it is time consuming. But they're gonna have to like balance it out, like in any incentives now for the people to actually go through that process.
Well, on July the 5th. Well, I'm going to Monterrey tomorrow. I'm going to Monterrey tomorrow. So, but on July the 5th, Sam, there's a on July the 5th, there's a comedian that's coming. I don't know who this comedian is. Um,
Eugenio Derbez.
is he more like an actor than a comedian? I don't know.
Yeah, no. Where to? Coming where? To Monterrey?
They're coming from Monterrey. It's kind of trippy because
Como
the
the guy who's funny is like that Marco Polo or
no
whatever his name is.
this
El
guy is
Brasil governor.
this guy's supposedly like a clown. Brincos dieras.
Ah, ese payaso. Ni
Yeah.
tiene chiste, dude.
No.
That guy is. It's funny. It's funny, but it's not like my type of humor.
Well, I didn't know who the hell that guy was, but Diego was going like, "Hey, vamos a Monterrey a ver a Brincos Dieras," and I said like, "Sure, 'cause I any excuse for me to go to Monterrey, I'm out there, right?"
Yeah.
I said, "Sure, man, let's go." So he said, and I said, "But he's going to be here the first week of July," and I said, "Well, I'm going to California on the first weekend of July. I'm going to be in
That guy's been in Brownsville too.
oh, I
He
think
was in one of the clubs there on 802, I believe.
I have no idea. I don't know who this guy is."
Yeah.
But I'm going to be in Los Angeles the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'm going to Disneyland, which is something that I probably said that I would never in my life do. But
Out of all places. You know
este,
what I found out recent? Not recently, but like about 2 years ago. I barely found out that Hershey's has a theme park.
who?
Hershey's, like the chocolate Hershey's
Oh, um,
In Hershey's, Pennsylvania.
I did not know that. Well, so Frank. So then Diego says, I go like, well, I didn't know it was a fit. Then Frankie, like 30, 45 minutes later, sends me that thing like, hey, I want to go see this guy. I said, oh, and then I knew the date. I then I knew the date, and I
He's
said,
funny and he does show and stand up and everything. It's just not my cup of tea.
oh, I don't know. So I told Frankie, I said, hey, well, let's go. Diego wants to go, we'll go. Mexican dream, shadow American dream. Immigrant speaks is becoming a power, world power. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Commissioner Los Santos,
people
what's
don't think,
your
but I think little by little it'll get to that point. It's like how they had said before. They were building a wall to stop all the Mexicans coming over here or immigrants, but it's gonna get to the point that people can't afford to live in the United States, and soon enough they're gonna be wanting to go into Mexico, and Mexico's gonna be like, well, there's a border wall
yeah, Commissioner Los Santos? What's your take
on the Cessna.
on the 9-seater airplane? Will Commissioner Los Santos be going to Monterrey? Flying, it's going to be trippy because what I want to do is I want to see the commissioners or the mayor este go to Monterrey, on one of the first flights, and I'm going to time it, Sam. I'm going to let them get on the plane, and then I'm going to drive, and then I'm going to meet them at the airport, and I'm going to be holding a sign saying, "I got here before you did."
No, I would understand if you start the trip from the moment they get to the airport.
Yeah, well, no, they got to give me at least. Remember, you have to prepare to get to the airport. So
That's what I'm saying. Like, because you said like, well, for the moment they start flying,
no,
I like
no,
from the moment they start flying, I don't think you'll make it. But if you take off when they get there to the airport, just like chance you get at the same time.
I want them to give me an hour because it takes you at least an hour, maybe more, an hour to get ready. So 1 hour before their flight, I'm going to head on off to Monterrey, and I'm going to meet them at the airport with a big old sign saying, "Bitch, I got here first."
But in like in como te diré, it could open like in a positive note, it could open doors for more collaboration between Matamoros, I mean Bronzeville and Monterrey of some sort.
Well, think of it this way. Think of it this way: that they still have to go through customs. You know, they still
Yeah,
have to get permiso. They still have to get all this other stuff, ready. So it's just time consuming. So that's what I want to do. I want to find out when the first commissioner or mayor. I want to see John Cowan fly in a 9-seater plane. He's out there like, oh, it's a great thing. I want to see him get on the plane, and I will race to
I'm
Monterrey.
trying to remember what size are the planes from Bronzeville because I know I've ridden an airplane uh, from Brownsville to Houston with the previous mayor,
With
but I just don't remember how many seats it had.
from Bronzeville to Houston.
Yeah, you know how they have those mod jets, those mod little planes que
Oh,
parecen peceras.
I've never been on there.
So the ones from the Brownsville to Las Vegas was bigger, or what? The airplane.
Yes, the Velo. Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. We don't have a Velo anymore to the capacity that we had it before.
How long did it last?
We don't. I think maybe 6 months to Las Vegas. We don't fly to Las Vegas anymore, and we're not flying to Florida anymore.
But again, there was no incentive for people. Like,
No, I went on the first flight to Las Vegas. Again, I expected someone from the city to be out there,
yeah,
but no one went out there. So, uh,
they didn't have the whole showering of the plane, or what?
well, they did have like little cupcakes and a little gift here and there. It was kind of trippy. I was on the first flight. I was on the first seat actually, and but I went to Las Vegas on because I want again. I want great stuff for Brownsville, and I thought, man, I'll check it out. I'll be one of the first ones to fly into Las Vegas, and let me tell you, it worked. It was feasible. I went on a Friday, come back on a Monday. It was great. It was good. Didn't last. I wanted to go to Florida
If they
on a,
have that schedule, that's pretty good for Las Vegas. Like if there's a flight on Friday and then you come back on Monday,
Yeah, yeah,
or if you can come back on Sunday, that'll be even better
yeah. You can spend a little
for
weekend.
work.
Yeah, a little weekend trip. So
Yeah,
it was great. I wanted to try the Florida one. It just never fixed my schedule. But I am flying into Los Angeles on the 5th on a Velo, which was a cheap flight. I think I paid like $200 for it. Plus, I got the better seats. But I am taking it to Los Angeles, and I'm flying back on United, I think, or American. I can't remember. I'm flying back on United, but because I got it for like $5 that flight
with the points or what?
with my points, so I was like all
Yeah,
ecstatic
I've
about
done
it.
that too. I've actually
My military should buy an airport. Should buy the airport. We need it more than people. Now that's an idea. Have the military buy it. Again, look, I hope that Brownsville does well with this airline. It's not going to. It's going to fail. I don't know how much money we put into it, and that's unfortunate. And how much we're going to actually ultimately invest in it, that's unfortunate. It's not feasible. We got to stop thinking of the Brownsville Airport as something that's feasible and workable. It's not going to work, and we got to start working together with Harlingen and McAllen, because at the end of the day, even as horrible as the traffic is in McAllen, because people in McAllen drive horribly, it's
yeah,
still it's still better to go all the way
it's
to.
all congested.
No, it's horrible. They're never going to fix it. Biggest problem is that stuff doesn't last when they bring it here, which is why it's better to spend money on permanent things. Exactamente. Let's invest our money in Harlingen, and let's put all our resources that are come into the city of Brownsville.
Like
Because,
I understand it's centrally located, but it I don't know.
yeah, because all the grants and money that come into Brownsville, just give it to McAllen. I mean, give it to Harlingen. Just throw it out there to Harlingen. Let Harlingen, upgrade their airport. So yeah, I don't mind us, because let me tell you, if it wasn't for grants,
Would you say that all of this is because of what happened a long time ago in the early '90s when there was like a I guess they were trying to figure out which one to expand between the Harlingen and the Bronzeville Airport?
no,
Or you don't recall back then?
uh,
I was
those
muy chiquito.
those are my drug years. Uh, Let me say, Brownsville Airport has never been the same. And what's unfortunate is that Brownsville Airport was one of the number one airports in the area. It was the only airport in the area. It was the airport, and we just let it go to crap. And it's kind of hard to bring back to life something that has been let go to crap. It's just hard to bring it back to life. It's almost impossible. And
I think it could be. Uh, if they start promoting like more things, like the whole SpaceX and the island thing, it's like you had mentioned before. It says Bronzeville South Padre, the same thing that Hardingen does, the Bronzeville South Padre when you actually search it. But like, what do they contribute to the airport
well, it's like
besides the location?
But it's like you say, like, what if people from Dallas want to come see SpaceX, or people that fly into Dallas? They're going to fly into Harlingen, and it's not really that far away. Now, it would be amazing if Brownsville Airport were fit to take in a lot of the planes that are important to SpaceX, but our runways are not big enough, Sam. They have to land SpaceX when SpaceX wants to land stuff like hard stuff. They have to
Yeah,
land
yeah,
in Harlingen. It's not going to come into Brownsville. That's
yeah.
just
Because even when I used to work at the island, the Spring Breakers would land into Harlingen,
yeah.
and they had those free shuttles to the island and stuff like that.
Which
Well, I
is
don't think they're free anymore, but they had the services.
which is smart. We have stopped being smart about our airport for the longest time. Maybe SpaceX can buy it. That would be great. It comes down to what's best for the people, not your compadres. 100%. They tried to make College Airport bigger because they were growing then. Now it's Brownsville that is growing, and we should have a bigger airport with large lanes. They can't because nobody wants
The
to sell.
space. Do they have the space though?
Huh?
Do they have the space to grow?
No, we don't, because a lot of people don't want to sell their property over there, and we've just developed so much around it that even if you do the eminent domain, it would just piss off a lot of people. It would piss off a whole lot of
And
people.
I think it could probably be like a selling point if they kind of promote the whole SpaceX, how it's kind of closer to SpaceX compared to the Hardingen Airport. But then once they get there, they're gonna need like how to move, how to drive to the beach. Which I do understand that they have like car rentals, but sometimes the car rental is kind of like difficult with those people.
Can you give a shout out to my friend Edward Cedillo? Hey, Edward, have a great day. I love you, bro. Have a great day and a great week. I appreciate your support. Uh, Today, there's very little people supporting the Erasmo Castro. A lot of people are upset because of uh, my
You're opposed to it.
my stance on the thing. I'm sorry, I don't believe in it. I think we're going to get screwed.
Now you try to be optimistic about it, but when it comes down to being realistic, uh, like like you said, like the numbers have to be there. Like it's like if there would have been like a bunch of posts about people asking about like air flights to Monterrey, then you would understand like you know what, there's like almost every week there's a bunch of people asking for those flights to Monterrey because somehow it makes it easier for people. Because I understand people sometimes people don't want to drive because of the so-called, I guess, like right now there is violence, but that's over here in Matamoros. But I guess that's what they're trying to avoid.
If it was a
And right now, you cannot say that there's no violence because there have been shootouts for like the past 2 weeks.
if it was a feasible flight, a regular plane, inexpensive, I would consider it.
But that's an inexpensive one. A Cessna.
Yeah, and look, Reynosa has viable options, man. Let me tell you, I mean, I've taken the flights from Reynosa. Now, one of the things that I'm having issues with Reynosa right now is that they've started to cut back on their flights into Mexico City. But let me tell you, I was flying into Mexico City from Reynosa for 120, 150
Yeah,
bucks.
and how many of those seats were filled?
Huh?
Was it a packed airplane every
Yeah,
time?
yeah, packed airplane. Because what happens is you had people from McAllen going into Reynosa.
Yeah.
I would meet a lot of people. Hey, Erasmo, trust me, every single flight I've taken from Reynosa into Mexico City, every single flight, Sam, people are like Erasmo, Erasmo. A lot of times, a lot of folks, because even for people from Matamoros go to Reynosa, McAllen and the surrounding areas in order to fly. What's happened now, and this is one of the issues. What's happened, and this is one of my fears also for the city of Brownsville. What's happened now is that they've started to cut back on some of the flights, and they've made them a little bit more expensive. So
Yeah.
como que te dan like aquí está,
Yeah.
and
But
then all
again, it's gonna be thrown with the whole inflation thing.
yeah, well, but they've been making good money because every single flight that I've taken from Reynosa to Mexico City has been jam packed. So there's a possibility of even growing. And I think what's happening, I don't know if Viva Aerobus has like all of a sudden like uh, bend over to Aeromexico. I'm starting to see a lot more flights that Aeromexico going from Reynosa to Mexico City. I don't know if Aeromexico strong armed them to hell out there. But Reynosa is also a viable option. Except now, for me, it's still going all the way into Monterrey to fly into Mexico City. I found a flight from Monterrey to Mexico City at a better time uh, for 120 bucks round trip from Monterrey. So it's
Yeah,
better.
I seen those.
So it's better for me to go drive into Monterrey. Now, a
Hey,
lot of
the thing is with Aeromexico is that they charge you for every single little thing that you carry, and carry on and the luggage and everything. The heck with that? Or is
well,
that a was that Viva Bus, Aerobus?
uh,
Who's the one that charges you for every single little thing?
uh, it starts with a V also. It's one of those airlines that all of a sudden just a man is also disappearing. Volaris
Oh
is
yeah,
disappearing. Volaris was horrible. But it's like a lot of individuals were all excited because Matamoros Airport is getting direct flights into Mexico City, and a lot of people were going yes. And I looked at it, and this is what happens when a lot of people don't understand, like flying through airports. They don't understand the city outlay, and this is one of the setbacks from the flight from Brownsville into Monterrey. Do these people here in the city of Brownsville really realize that they really spend some time at the Monterrey airport? Again, I'm going to say that they haven't, Sam. I have. I should be on the airport board or something that they have. I don't know what it is. I've traveled, through airports.
The Brownsville Airport Committee.
Some airport people, I don't know, I don't care. I'll never be on a committee. But what I was saying, Sam, is a lot of people were excited about the trip from Matamoros into
Ya ni
Mexico.
porque conoces a Roy.
Yeah, porque soy el best friend of Roy. Oh yes, what the hell, Roy? Get me on that damn board. Oh yes, the people were excited about Matamoros going into Mexico City, and I was excited about it too. At first glance, you go like, sounds great, until you really look into the flights. And when you look into the flight, Sam, it's going from Matamoros into the new airport, not the old airport. The old airport is in the center of the city. That's a viable. That's a viable. That's a great choice because it's in the center of the city. Now, the hours that it was offering were horrible. You were going to land in Mexico City like at, I'll give you an example, like at 12:30 in the day. Can you imagine traveling through Mexico City from an outside airport at 12:30 in the day? Sam, that's murder. You're talking about 3 hours in traffic. On the way back, the flight out was at like 5:30 in the afternoon from Mexico City to Matamoros. To get to the airport at 5:30 in the afternoon, Sam, te imaginas? It's horrible. The best flights into Mexico City are in la madrugada and late in the evening, at 9 or 10. Those are the best flights because you don't have to deal with the traffic mess. So it's not viable to fly into Mexico City from Matamoros. It just doesn't make sense. But if you don't know the city, the outlay, and airports and all this stuff, you're gonna think that's a great deal, and it really isn't. Mexico is going to save Brownsville. It's not gonna come from the U.S. It hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's just a mess. Sam, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just reading that comment about how Mexico was gonna save Brownsville. I'm like, is that the same way of how the new county appraisal is gonna save the county? Never mind. That's a dumb joke. Never mind.
Not gonna happen. But I like hear Commissioner de los Santos take on it. It's interesting because the mayor was all excited about it, like all out there a picture moment and stuff. And people like, oh, great job, great job. I w-
Well, yeah, you're not gonna have him being all like negative when that thing's starting up and be like, "Nambe, si el mayor no le gusta," like, well, you
well,
need to like,
well, no. What I want to see if
that's
the
his face.
well, I want to see if the mayor's actually going to fly from Matamoros from Brownsville.
I understand you want to have like his true opinion on it. That would be a different thing.
No, I
But
want to
at
see.
first, I understand like whenever there's a news release, well, of course he has to say like, "Hey, sabes que what's great things for Brownsville, this and that," and kind of like hopefully get everybody on the bandwagon of it. But I mean, he needs to be like realistic about it to see like how it's gonna be used, or how often.
Like with all new things for the city, there's research that goes into what cities to bring routes to. Well,
Routes to.
whoever did this research failed. Failed. Again, I've flown out of the Mexican of Monterrey airport more than every single individual that has ever flown out from Brownsville into it ever, all put together. That's no guarantee it will be successful. You have had wins and we've had fails. What wins? One airport win that we've had. One. Having Calacas there at the airport, make, making sure the Limas got another break out there. One.
Hey,
What is
you know what I was thinking? Speaking of that, like instead of imagine flying into Brownsville and then right outside the airport having like a food truck with all the varieties of foods from Brownsville.
the what?
Imagine flying into Brownsville, being like not from Brownsville. Like let's say you're from like Minnesota or whatever, or some other country, some other city or state, and you're flying to Brownsville because you're trying to explore the whole South Padre Island. and then landing there, and then right outside the airport, like not right outside, but a couple of blocks down, there's a food truck, a massive food truck with all the variety of food from Bronzeville. Because that place doesn't have a food truck place, does it?
No, no, it has a restaurant now. It has calacas. I don't.
No, I understand that's inside the airport, but I'm saying outside the airport.
But I
That
just
way, it's not so damn expensive.
I just don't think that you have enough traffic in order to support some food trucks out there.
Yeah, I understand, but like you don't have the traffic from the airport, but it will be in that area. It will be outside the airport.
Maybe like the.
You know, by that area by where that that bus central station is at,
Oh yeah, I hate that one.
around there.
Billy
Like
Mitchell.
that way, when people are driving out for their rentals and they want to get food, they're stopping there first, and it'll be like something that's
Well,
authentic to
well,
Brownsville.
yeah. And let me tell you, like the last time I flew to when I flew out to Rome. I wanted to get there a little bit before, so I stopped at Brownsville, no, Boca Chica coffee shop, and because you want to make some time before you have to sit at the airport. And let me tell you, they have great food at Boca Chica coffee shop. I understand what you're saying, having like a food truck there, so people like can do a pit stop before they head to the airport for their flight. I agree. I agree. That's what failed. That's in reference to anything you in Brownsville, not exclusively airport. But at Brownsville, we have two fully operational airlines, American and United. Not fully operational.
American being the better one, that's for sure.
Yeah, not fully operational. I'm glad that they're there, but they're there to service the illegals. That's that's the main number one customer for these airlines. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have those, Commissioner. If it wasn't for the illegal aliens, now we don't even know how much longer this illegal alien influx is going to happen. Because who knows? After November, Trump might shut that whole crap down. And if Trump becomes president, and if that happens,
And then what's gonna happen to West Brownsville Baptist Church?
what's yeah? Think about it, Commissioner. They were here long before the spikes in immigration problem. They were here at a shorter capacity because they would service Houston some flights, and I don't even know where American Airlines flies out of from Brownsville. I don't think I've ever taken American. I've
Yeah,
taken
because I like there has to be like a full research on this, and like how he says, like there's research done on this, and I know, like because I also worked in hotels, and you'll see like the most random people coming into the city for work, because they're contractors. Which most people they're like, we don't see that, but like you don't see it like on a daily basis. But there's people that come into Bronzeville for one thing or another.
where does American fly to from Brownsville?
What's up?
Where does American Airlines fly to from Brownsville?
Uh, Beats me, but it's because I used the hard engine one, and that would goes directly to Dallas.
Commissioner, do you know where it flies out to? I mean, I know United flies to Houston. I've used that, and I know
Yeah,
United flies to Dallas on en route to New York, unless it's American.
I
Check.
want to say both of them go to Houston. Um, Again, I want to use it maybe like 3 times, but the ones from hard engine, um, I think American goes to Dallas, and then United goes to Houston.
Again, I don't know where American flies to from Brownsville. Again, I know United does. I just don't know about American Airlines. Anyone? I just don't see it. Well, he's checking. Well, anyway, again, look at what happened to Avelo, Sam.
Yeah,
I mean, did they do all that research to guarantee that we were going to keep Avelo for a long time? And again, how much incentives did we give Avelo? Did we really?
that's probably what kind of like that's what makes it more of a less risk for the company itself. Whenever there's incentives, so they're like, we're not gonna lose that much, or we might gain just a little bit, whatever. But that's I guess that's what gives them the incentive to kind of like provide that service.
Yeah. American Airlines flies from Harlingen to Dallas. I don't see any flights from Brownsville to Dallas. Have you seen any, Sam?
No, I normally fly from Brownsville to Houston.
Now, uh,
Y luego deja tú, they you fly to Houston y te ponen la mero atrás. You almost land in the parking lot. You don't fly into like the regular gates.
American headquarters in Fort Worth, Houston, Dallas. Uh, oh yeah, now I found. Yeah, but the flights. Let me tell you, American Airlines. I'm looking at the flights right here. American Airlines from Brownsville to Dallas is $878.
Like no.
There's no way, Commissioner.
Are you? Do you have it like an automatically set it in first class or something?
No, not at all.
Dude, I love the fact that I prefer American like any day. Um, you just pay like $60 more or $80 more, and you get first class.
Now I did find a flight from Brownsville to Dallas for $450.
Nah, it doesn't compare when you do it from Harlingen, and it's like $200 or 100
Yeah,
and something.
this is the difference, Commissioner. If you're driving, if on the same dates, if you're flying from Harlingen to Dallas, it is $291. If you're flying from Brownsville to Dallas, $400. It's a big difference. And this is I put a date allá para July. I'll put a date in. I'll go September. Well, there, I think I found some cheap flights. Let's go to September. In September, I got $189
Yeah,
from Harlingen
that sounds more reasonable.
and Brownsville, uh, $330.
I think I've flown from Harlingen to Houston for like $130.
Rates fluctuate based on demand and how far in advance you book. I put it all the way to September. And again, the only reason that these airlines are going to bank out here is because of they're going to bank out here is because of the illegal aliens. That's the only reason that they're still here. Again, what happened to Avelo?
Yeah, but
Avelo's
again, it
gone.
it, it's their primary product. It could be that, but I mean, it has very like little small market from like the bigger companies.
Now, let me ask, Commissioner. I mean, are we actually making money from the airport, or are we losing money from the airport? I mean,
That's a good question.
you have to take that into account. Honestly, Commissioner, honestly, are we making money, or is this another Ciclovia where we're like $1 million in the
Losing
hole,
money.
or another sports park, Sam, where we're like 50 some million dollars? Avelo is still flying, yes, but Avelo is still flying out of Brownsville Airport. It is, but only to Los Angeles. We lost Las Vegas, and now we're going to lose
Orlando.
Orlando. Orlando's gone, Commissioner. The only one that we were going to keep and again, and how much longer is Los Angeles going to last? And the airport is not profitable yet.
And
Airport,
on that note, we'll finish it off. When will Los Angeles finish?
yeah, airport operates in the red currently, and it's going to continue operating in the red. Sam, what about the sports park in the red? What about Ciclovia in the red? So
And
where
an audit would do nice. Like they have to like so I guess evaluate the whole
No, well,
thing.
and then you go PUB. Well, we're in the red because of PUB. They're probably the only ones that are banking in the city of Brownsville. So where are the wins? You know, we were talking about wins and in losses and the research. Where are the wins? And when is the research going to tell us? Take it to the back and shoot that damn thing. You know, because it's not working. Everyone will get to the black. Can't say the same about sports park. That's a whole other ball.
Yeah.
Shoot it. Take it to the back and shoot it. The airport, Commissioner, the airport will never go to the black because once they go
It
black,
needs to have incentives or promotions of some sort, like to actually use it. I'm pretty sure
Commissioner,
people from Brownsville still, even I guess I want to assume people that live in the north side of Brownsville will probably still use Harlingen Airport over driving all the way through Brownsville, all the way to the backyards to use the Brownsville Airport.
Commissioner, I'm buying you 3 lunches because you eat so much. I'm buying you 3 lunches when it goes to black. And even if you're out of politics, because you got a couple of challengers before you.
That's not nice.
You got some out there challengers that are, uh,
Yeah, some challenges and some controversies.
he has some challengers out there that are trying to figure out where you live.
Yeah, but that's for another day. That's for another
That's
day.
for another day, Commissioner. You got three. You got three challengers, so I'm going to get you three lunches. I'm going to get you three lunches when the airport goes to the black. I appreciate you, Cesar. Here, give me a call. I'm available today for lunch if you're available. Sam, thanks for coming on.
Likewise, bro. You have a good day.
Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be. God bless.
Stay positive for once.